All right, and welcome everybody. Welcome to the MakeCode JavaScript show for Microbit. My name is Pelly, and I work for the MakeCode team. And together with Emil,
hello,
we're going to be learning to write JavaScript. So far we've done a lot of block coding, but it's possible to also do JavaScript coding in Microbit. And to do that, first of all, we'll be on beta. But by the time you see this video, the beta will probably be the release version. We are here on Mixer, so make sure you follow our channel. Or if you're watching the YouTube channel, subscribe for more videos. And we're here on MakeCode.microbit.com. Now, if you scroll to the bottom, Emil, there's a series called Blocks to JavaScript, and it's kind of a cool little course on how to migrate your knowledge to blocks. Yeah, some pretty cool art, right?
Yeah.
So if you've done block programming and you feel like you want to get on to a new challenge, and you want to try out this crazy text-based programming, well, you can do it in MakeCode because we support blocks, JavaScript, and Python. So today we're going to be doing
Hello, JavaScript.
Hello, JavaScript. Yeah, let's do that. There's a famous program called Hello World. It's kind of the first program you write, typically. All right, so this is interesting. Let's collapse the simulator so we get a bit more reading space. All right, so on the right there is a sequence of steps we have to do. It's just and then yeah, we'll switch to JavaScript. All right, so let's start, Emil, with the first step. We want to do a flashing heart.
Yeah.
All right, so we're familiar with that one. I'm gonna grab a forever loop, and we're gonna. You know what? The lighting changed today. Let me see if I can change that. We look greenish.
We always look a bit off.
There we go. Oh,
Okay.
now we're transparent. All right.
See how transparent we can go.
All right, we'll
The top of your
go
head
with
is
that.
missing.
Something changed. All right.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Your hard drawing skills have really improved the
Okay,
weekend.
I'm gonna copy.
All right, so the whole point is to show you how you're going to migrate from blocks to JavaScript. All right,
I actually drew a
I
heart.
think we're done. All right, so we can.
Oh, I just zoomed out a ton.
Oh, yeah, it's maybe zoom out one. Yeah, there we go. Step 2. We're going to click to the JavaScript thing, and you see it changed. It depends because this view is a bit smaller, but you can see that you're going to want to click to the language table at the top, and then mind blown.
Can't you? Oh, you can also do Python.
Yeah. Mind blown. We are now in JavaScript, and all our code has been translated to text-based coding. So yeah, mind blown glasses. Are you confused by that, Emil? Does that make no sense?
I mean this?
Yeah. So there's a few things you should recognize, like, I don't know, there's a forever here, and it's under basic, so let me move the mouse. See basic here? There's a forever here, right? So basic, forever. You remember where you find the blocks?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what you get in block programming. You get more syntax. It's more syntax heavy. So for example, you know, it expects you to put parentheses, and then this is a function, because this function will run every time forever. Remember functions and blocks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And then this is a pretty cool way to encode the image. So if it's a dot, it's empty. And if it's any other character, it's turned on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look different, although there's some stuff we recognize, right? Oh, we're gonna put comments, all right. So let's put comments on every line and try to figure out what they do.
Okay.
So you can move the cursor with the arrow keys. And in code, it's very handy to put comments. So if you scroll up all the way to the top, I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna do a new line here. And you do whack whack.
So like slash?
Back whack.
Oh my god.
Are you shifted? There we go. Now you see the line is green. This is a comment. And typically in many editors by default it's green. And that means you can do everything you want here. You will not have typos. Although you kind of want to make the comment human readable. It's a way to explain what the intent of the code is under it. So we're going to say, repeat an animation. So that your future self, when it comes back to read this, gets a hint because you forgot everything you wanted to do. It's like, oh, I'm trying to repeat something here. Yeah, so you can do a lot of comments anywhere you want. That's great. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, so you can also come back and can kind of round trip if you want to see what it looks like in blocks. And yeah.
Any other thing, so I could just do equals, or does that not work?
Well, let's do the pound. There you go. Yeah, so actually let's talk about Mr. Squiggle, as we call him. So if you do a typo, this is one of the big difference with blocks. You're gonna have these red wavy squiggles, we call them. And
I think it's...
if you hover your mouse over it, it's gonna give you sometimes some messages are a bit cryptic, but hopefully helpful. Yeah, it's telling you that you've got a row that's
lines in image literal have
to have the same width.
Got 5 and then 4 pixels. Okay, that's...
So because you removed one dot here, this line only has 4, and he's like, no. So in particular, this version of, well, we are a bit picky, so you have to get all your typos right. For example, if you delete this parenthesis, wait for it. Ooh, here we go. And what is he gonna say? Oh, he expected some comma. So sometimes the error message kind of don't make sense to you, but work your way up from it, and then you look at what's above it. It's like, oh, it's confused because it's missing a parenthesis here. Now, similarly, if I remove this one.
Oh, because there's a parenthesis there.
Yeah, you have to close them. It's like, Mambo Jumbo, don't know what it says, but there's something missing. Now, here's the cool thing you can see in the editor. See when I put my cursor on the parenthesis here? And now it highlights here. See that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if I put it here. In general, if you open something, you have to close it. That's kind of the general rule of thumb. Oh yeah, I broke my code. Yeah, that's the lesson.
No, what's honestly what I think the most confusing is getting all the points.
Oh, the points?
And the...
It's going to make a lot of sense when we're going to type it.
Yeah, when you type it.
In fact, okay, let me do something. Let's type it back all together. Let's do it back from the start. I'm going to hide this. And I'm going to go back to... So we're doing... now, if you're familiar with the toolbox in blocks, so there's
it also helps you.
Yeah, there's a help where it auto-completes what you're typing. So that's really helpful.
I just did it.
Just did it. The other thing you can do is, for example, here, I can go and say, what can I do? You know, if you're wondering. So this is just like the blocks.
Oh, you have blocks?
Well, it's just like your toolbox in blocks, but you can drag this, and then this will drag some code.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. But you can also do it from the keyboard, and eventually, when you're good, you'll only do it from the keyboard. Show LEDs, and then what you want to do is tab it. Oh yeah, enter works too. All right, so we kind of didn't follow the instructions, but yeah, and then you can run it. So there's also one difference, I think. Let's see. Let's make a change here. And in general, it can be annoying that because you're making a lot of small edits, the simulator doesn't restart automatically. So when you're ready to look at your change, you hit play, right? And you get some super cool animation going on.
Wait, what?
Because you didn't delete the dot.
I know.
All right, let's see if we covered our hello world. See if we cover all work. Yeah, you can drag from the toolbox. That's very helpful. We can use completion. Learn about that. You can copy paste and things like that. So that's really lesson 1. It was pretty quick.
So,
Yeah, and then also just to finish, if you haven't gone too deep in the language, you might be able to go back to salty. You might be able to go back to blocks. Otherwise, you can stay in JavaScript. Otherwise, everything works the same way. You'll be able to click download and everything like that. All right, Emil, let's hit lesson 2.
I think I passed it here.
And for those who are watching, you can also try that in your browser. Go to MakeCode.com, MakeCode.microbit.org, and you scroll down to the blocks to JavaScript section.
Starter box. Yeah.
Let's see starter blocks. What's in store for us in this lesson? Use your knowledge of blocks to learn JavaScript faster. MakeCode can cover blocks to JavaScript and back. Start your program with blocks, then jump in JavaScript is an easy way to begin working on the code.
So it's like you get a start.
All right, so we're going to do the button. We're going to do a button where when we press A, we show a dot. Let's try it out in the simulator. It works. Yeah, it never erases. That's okay. All right. To convert to JavaScript, click on the language selection. That's a bit bigger. All right, so it converted. And again, just take a look at here what we got. What do we have here? We have...
So really, when you're coding, you'll just search up like input or something.
Yeah.
And then you just get everything.
Yeah. And then you can do dot. Now do dot. And now you get a shorter list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also, here's some pretty cool tips. There's if you leave it long enough. Oh no, it doesn't do it here. But if you hover your mouse over something, for example, I'll bring my mouse over here. I'm gonna get some help.
Oh yeah.
Like it's gonna tell me what to do. There's another thing that happens when you type everything from scratch. But not in this version. Yeah, so the help will tell you what it expects. It expects a touch pin, then some kind of function. So you want to do touch pin, P1, for example, and then you add a function. And as you type, so what you'll see is as you type, you get squiggles because you're always kind of in broken state.
But you want to wait till they're done.
So don't worry about it until you're done, and then you kind of figure out what's going on. But we missed that, right? So let's fix it because I completely trashed it. You need to grab the...
Wait, what is that?
No, actually that's working. Okay, what do we have to do? Oh yeah, change a few dots and then come back. All right, let's do that. So we are making changes in JavaScript.
Okay, there you go. Oh.
Yeah. And you can just come back to blocks if you want to, just by clicking the blocks section.
Okay.
And you've got blocks. So in many cases, this will work. As soon as you're going to write more advanced JavaScript, it won't be possible to come back. And that's what they call gray blocks. Let's take a look at that. So we're going to go back to All right, so this is a very cool thing you can do in JavaScript, but not in blocks. You can show animations. So you can actually draw, and there's, I think they explain how to select that. There's a super cool shortcut key to select these, select columns, but I forgot it. There's be some kind of, well, anyway. So, Emil, you can draw a second frame here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to copy that 5 times. All right, so you've got 2 frames now. So you can do a little animation.
Okay.
So for example, if we do this, and now we run this, button A. Oh, see? You notice?
Yeah.
All right. So that's something cool you can do in TypeScript, in JavaScript, but the blocks don't have two sets of blocks, so that won't work. Now, this is a feature that only exists if you're using text coding JavaScript. Now, what happens when you try to come back to blocks? You're going to have something called a gray block, and a gray block is generally a good news. That means you're actually going beyond what can be done in blocks. So you see how this gray block, we call it gray block because it's gray. But you can't edit it. You can only like move it around. You have to go back to JavaScript to edit it.
Mm-hmm. So what else?
I think that's it. That's the lesson. Eventually, once you're in JavaScript, you don't have to come back to blocks.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. Lesson 2 done. We're in a roll this morning. All right, writing code. Let's learn about that.
On your own. But we've got help to get you through. Okay, toolbox. Okay. So.
What's this? Yeah. Yeah, this is teaching you how to use autocompletion. All right, let's try that. All right, let's try the toolbox. So we're gonna do, what is he doing? Oh, he's plotting a line. Okay, let's try that.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a for loop. So there's no for loop in blocks. The closest we have is repeat, and there's no repeat in JavaScript. It's a for loop. But yeah, you can drag things, and you drop them, and it'll put them to the next line. Now this is a new one. It says start with this variable equals to 0. Keep going until while it's less than 5, and on every iteration incremented by 1. This plus plus means add 1 to the value. That makes sense?
Yeah.
It's a very, very popular language feature in coding. You want to move it up?
Yeah, because...
So you can hit delete. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, let's do the plot now. So we can search for plot. So you can either type it in. You want to do a plot LED. Or you can actually, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the toolbox. Do that. All right. So plot. It's nice to keep indentation right, so that it's like in blocks when you have the mouth. So if you look at the blocks, see how you have this mouth here? Mm-hmm. Imagine the same for JavaScript. It tells you that this belongs to the for loop. So everything in between these curly braces is going to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Repeat for loop from here.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at our lesson. And does it work? Oh, it doesn't work. All right. I think we're missing using I. What was plotting the same? Oh yeah, we need to use I. So I is a variable index. The GIF is a bit it's gonna be, it's not gonna be I, it's gonna be this index thing.
So index?
Index. Yeah.
Okay.
So index is a variable, just like we did in blocks. So if you remember the variables, just by using the name, that's like reading the variable name, just like we did in blocks. So now we do a diagonal because.
Oh yeah.
Now here's a cool feature. So since we're beta, we can use the debugger. So this is really cool. Click on the little bug there under the simulator. All right, and we're gonna step through our code. So we're gonna put a breakpoint here, and then we're gonna restart the program. All right, now in your debugger, there is this thing called step. So you click on that one, and you see it does click again, and then it checks, is index less than 5? Yes. So it goes in. And now look at the here you can see the value of index, 0. Okay. So you click on that once and see. Now it's going to run this part of the code. So click one more time. So notice this. That's 1 now. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep stepping. Okay, we're in the loop. Index is 1, and plot 1, 1 is going to be right here. And we keep going, index plus plus. And this is a stepping debugger. It's very common, something you use, and it's very helpful to understand what your code is doing. So you can see the variables here. You can see how they change, and you can see where your code is. Very, very useful. If you're confused by what your program is doing. So this works kind of as expected. And this is the new debugger we have in the beta.
Okay.
All right.
Suggestions and auto-completion.
Yeah. So we're going to do a forever, apparently.
So
when you're typing, yeah, it's delete all this. Actually, we're going to move it into forever. Woo! Undo. All right, so let's add a forever. And you can do that by typing. Now, here's the... And then we want to do forever. Yeah. Now, we want to move, we're going to move this code here. Now, there's a few ways you can select code. You can use your mouse with the shift key down. All right, so if you use the mouse first, you have to select everything, and then you can drag it around, right?
Okay.
But it's typically more efficient to use the clipboard. So you want to select this code using your cursor. So if you press Shift, you start a selection. Press down Shift. You're going to need 2 hands to code.
Yeah.
So press Shift. No, you leave it down. Now you move your cursor with the arrow keys. You want to go up. You want to select the thing that's up. Yeah, keep going. All right, so everything that's highlighted is selected now. So release the Shift key. And now you can do Control X to cut this thing. And you only want to do it once, otherwise you're Control Xing everything. All right, let's try again. Select, use the Shift key down, then use arrow keys to move up. And then you release the Shift. And now you do Control X. Okay, so now it's in something called the clipboard. And you can paste the clipboard anywhere you want.
Control V.
Control V. And this thing works everywhere, including in Word or in your email.
Yeah, it's copy paste.
It's copy paste, yeah, and it works for a test. Yeah. Okay, we have a typo because we deleted all that stuff here. But yeah. Let's make it more exciting. Let's add another loop, and then we unplot it. So we want to do another for loop.
What I do?
You kept your finger on the delete key. Yeah, keys repeat, so...
Is there just a
Yeah, it's not suggesting it. Well, that's a bug. That's unfortunate. Just gonna have to type it.
Or
Let.
let?
Yeah. Let is the way you declare a new variable. So I'm gonna say index. Now, because you're doing a loop, you want to say when you start. So you're gonna start at
Smiley face.
0. It's a number.
Uh-huh.
Then see there's a semicolon.
Oh, yeah.
So semicolon.
Oh.
And then the next section is the condition to stop. So we're going to say that index should be less than 5.
Is there less than?
Less than is here.
Oh, yeah.
5. And you put another semicolon. And now the section says what you do on each iteration, which typically means increment the counter. So we're going to do index plus plus.
There's plus, and there's less.
Yeah. And it's very unhappy as soon as you do typos. So you'll see here that
there's no swigglies.
Yeah. Might be crashed. Yeah, there's one here. It's hard to see.
Oh, yeah.
We're working on that. Okay, now this requires curly braces after. So you put some curly braces. So
Curly braces.
curly braces.
So
They
like
look like mustache.
oh, yeah.
sideways.
Those, like, weird parentheses.
Yeah.
Where
Here.
are they? Oh, there they are.
And it usually adds both for you, so you're fine. And see how they are paired? Everything that's inside of these curly braces is going to repeat. All right, so we want to unplot these. And there we go, unplot. And we want to do index. Now look where your cursor is.
Yeah.
You have to go back inside of the index. Yeah, you see we're in beta. There's a few bugs. We should be suggesting the index variable. All right, let's try it. Yeah, we're kind of seeing nothing. It's too fast. How about we add some
Pause.
Yeah.
So I think that's in basic.
Yeah. Where do you want to add them? Maybe after each plot.
So that is here.
On both loops.
So where do I put that?
So what you can do is if you put your cursor at the end of a line and you press enter, you add a new line.
Oh, okay. So we'll do.
Yeah, 100. It's pretty good. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now you really want to figure out whether you want to put before or after. I don't think it matters much in this program. It does. Yeah, we'll if you tab it, we'll fix your typos. All right.
Okay.
All right, let's try it out. Hey, this is pretty cool. This looks pretty good. And do some nifty little animations, and this is done in blocks. And again, if you're, if we were wondering what's happening, we can go in the code here. And what I like to do is, I like to turn on
slow-mo.
Slow-mo, because look at slow-mo. It should tell me.
Slow-mo the snail.
It should tell me what the value of index is, and it does. So that's really cool. You can see that. See how index is moving? There's a bug on this one. I can see that it's null, but that's not good. So we'll be fixing that.
What's null?
It means there's no value, but it really means that our little snail got confused because it should have seen the numbers. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's good. Yeah, so you can see how your program values changed in the debugger. All right, and you're back to...
So I think we can...
Yeah, line indentation. Like, if you notice, there's a little line here. They're pretty faint, but you want to see those lines when you're doing these loops, and these functions. Right? The cleaner your code is structured, the easier it's going to be for you to find bugs. Error squiggles. I think we're done. Alt-Shift-F. I'm sure this works. Oh yeah. Is it? Nope. Something's wrong. All right. And that's the first lesson of
coding with JavaScript.
Coding in JavaScript with microbits. It's the MakeCode JavaScript series.
Alt-F.
Yeah, it seems that the beta has issues with it because we're rewriting it.
Oh, okay.
So we'll learn about that later. Yeah, there's actually, if you press F1, there's a whole bunch of things you can do. Yeah, the professional developers, some of them really like to have a ton of shortcuts they can use. And we'll see what can be done here. Yeah. But that's it for today. And we'll be back for more tomorrow with more JavaScript coding with Emil in this new series about learning JavaScript in MakeCode. All right. See you, everybody. Tomorrow. Let's go.